Pull out my Beretta, I ain't talking about a bitch. Don't 45, I ain't talking about no drinks. Pull up with the ticket, I ain't helping with computers. Pull out the hammer, make it do the hammer dance. Pull out the hammer, make it do the hammer dance. Pull out the hammer, make it do the hammer dance. Pull out the hammer, make it do the hammer dance. Pull out the hammer, can't touch this. Aim it at your feet, you do the hammer dance. Even with a G, I come like Candyman. I'm the pilot man, but I never land on land. When I be flying, you be lying, I can't stand the scam. You a hater, big sucker, and a fan. Don't make me have to shoot more shots than cameraman. We can never count on you to hand to hand. That's why nobody listen to your random plans. Cause you make no sense, you fucking waste of spit. Everything you said you did is one amazing myth. Stealing from the people, you the one creating grifts. Take my own path, I don't fucking wait for shit. Bitch, I ain't with the instigating. You assimilated in a simulation. You ain't seen shit, stop insinuating. You are just a backup dancer while you niggas hating. Pull out my Beretta, I ain't talking about a bitch. Don't 45, I ain't talking about no drinks. Pull up with the ticket, I ain't helping with computers. Pull out the hammer, make it do the hammer dance. Pull out the hammer, make it do the hammer dance. Pull out the hammer, make it do the hammer dance. Pull out the hammer, make it do the hammer dance. Pull out the hammer, can't touch this. Menace to society, a murder on the scene. Hey, order me a double burger with the cheese. Don't cast these, they be searching, I be working for the fiends. You are just an agent and you work for the police. 8/4 ounce pounds, working on a key. The hood is not a teacher, but I'm learning from the streets. That's the only reason I might turn into a thief. Back, full of shit to purchase and some heat. Don't get caught at the red light on a dead night. Take your brains in a red rice, the description of you was a red right. You are nothing but a hand mic that need to mind your business. Like being to myself, so I ain't got no time to kick this. Low key, borderline, I don't like people. Bitch, I'm the first, that's why I don't like sequels. I don't listen to y'all music either, sound like diesel. When y'all niggas rap, make me wanna get the strap, shit is cap. Pull out my Beretta, I ain't talking about a bitch. Don't 45, I ain't talking about no drinks. Pull up with the ticket, I ain't helping with computers. Pull out the hammer, make it do the hammer dance. Pull out the hammer, make it do the hammer dance. Pull out the hammer, make it do the hammer dance. Pull out the hammer, make it do the hammer dance. Pull out the hammer, can't touch this.
Living up in Hogan Town. We just vibing. I'm about to get into some spiritual stuff. I want to vibe out. Vibe out too. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about these smack monkeys too. And be interactive. I don't even know why I got the chat open. So by me having the chat open, if some of y'all saying certain things in the chat, I'm going to ask you, what's your alignment? That's all you got to do. So I can tell you how flunked you is. That's going to be the theme of the day. Tell me your alignment. If you're going to be in the chat, tell me your alignment. That's it. Other than that, we're going to vibe out for a little bit and go in on spiritual smack monkey energy. You know what I'm saying? Spiritual smack monkey energy. A lot of people got spiritual smack. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into some new flight swing.
Walking through the park, I seen you find yourself. Walking through the park, I seen you find Girl, when I'm going on the road, you know I don't wanna be alone, I'll be on it. Girl, when I'm going on the road, you know I don't wanna be alone, I'll be on it. Girl, can you meet me LT? From the hotel to the beat, we'll be on the creek, by the creek. If you tell me jump, I'ma leave. Kiss me and I'll kiss you back. Girl, like I'm Shock G. Kiss me and I'll kiss you back. Girl, like I'm Shock G. Tell me when you coming in. Got your other friends asking where the fuck you been. After once, girl, I bet you wanna come again. After once, girl, I bet you wanna come again. Think about your ex and if you're still in love with him. Girl, just tell me if it wasn't what it wasn't then. Why you turn around and still give me your number then? Listen, I'ma have to put you on my bucket list. I know what it is when you're going through a phase. Need somebody there when you're going through some things. I don't really know what be going through your brain when you make decisions to be open in your lanes. Yeah, I ain't with the rip rap or the damn talk. Girl, we can skip that to another city. Your man is getting mad, what a pity. Girl, tell me, is you coming with me? Yeah, girl, can you meet me OT? From the hotel to the beat, to the beat. Be on the creep, by the creep, by the creep. Every time you jump, I'ma leave. Oh my God, kiss me and I'll kiss you back, back. Girl, like I'm Shakti. Kiss me and I'll kiss you back, back. Girl, like I'm Shakti. I'ma tell you out now, babe, now, babe. I'ma tell you out now, girl. I'ma tell you out now, babe, now, babe. I'ma tell you out now, girl. I'ma tell you out now, babe, now, babe. I'ma tell you out now, girl. I'ma tell you out now, babe, now, babe. I'ma tell you out now, girl. You don't even know who you are. Stretch out your arms and just blow. You don't even know who you are. Stretch your arms and just blow. From the hotel to the beat, to the beat. We'll be on the creep, by the creep, by the creep. Every time you jump, I'ma leave. Kiss me and I'll kiss you back, back. Girl, like I'm Shakti. Kiss me and I'll kiss you back, back. Girl, like I'm Shakti.
Spiritual smack monkeys. These spiritual smack monkeys and stuff like that. You know, instead of going, you know, if you come on or go, and all of that. Who's saying stuff? Who said with the F? What's your zodiac sign? I guarantee it's something flunked already. I guarantee you, you ain't got no business being on this channel. You got flunked buttercream, goddamn spiritual esoteric kneecaps. So you be walking crippled, your old man spirit. All of that. Everything is in reverse though. You young. No matter if you're in a 60-year-old body and a 1, 2, and 3rd, you better believe it. Young spirit. You don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? But in the spiritual world, you like Gen Z. You got arthritis in the left ankle cap. And I was like, oh, what's that? You don't know if you're coming or going, but you stumble and fell on not no banana strip and flip. You know what I'm saying? But you slip and fell on this channel somehow. You know what I'm saying? Somehow. I don't know why you ain't around no bananas. You could have slipped and fell on that first. You know what I'm saying? Some guy got weird circumstances and ideologies and stuff like. Other than that, what's your zodiac sign? I guarantee it's some alignment that ain't supposed to be aligned like that. Like somebody made up that alignment, and it just so happened to be something we got in the social norms, and then you got somehow that alignment, a made up alignment that somehow became real, only because you exist. Only because the sun you know what I'm saying? It was humans coming up like, oh, I'm going to make up this pocket the sun is at. You was born. It was you, a fucus sign. Oh, about that. I'm sleeping on fucus sign and stuff like that and things of that nature. I'm not going to further that. Other than that, everybody's spiritual and everybody could get close to God. That's what I'm here for. If you don't, something you don't know, something you low comprehension throwing a little bit or whatever, you got my channel. It ain't a lot of those type of knowledges in a lot of times and errors. You got to really think about that. It ain't really a lot of times and errors. You really could go to somebody and be like, oh, this guy doesn't know what's going on. Let me say something so I don't express my true insecurity, but say something around it. This person know how to still say my real sense. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna come around a lot, no family member, friend, associate. You got your spiritual family now. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'll just be keeping it real for y'all. A lot of times, y'all be taking that gift, though. Y'all taking it to be haters and other type stuff. I don't be knowing what be wrong with y'all. I don't be knowing what be wrong with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Get your life together. Before you try to dissect somebody else's life as they life ain't together. Listen, 9 times out of 10, you just in a position of you just mad that someone ain't got the same amount of bills you got. You know what I'm saying? So like Walt Disney made you believe what kind of bills you got was what made you feel like you somebody. It worked. You got to work hard every day to be that somebody. Don't it? That shit work hard, don't it? I be spit. I said spit, you too. That work hard, try to uphold some image every day and something like that to make yourself feel comfortable that you can look down on somebody else. That shit, really your spirit's small. Your spirit's small. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get your spirit bigger. When your spirit get a little bigger, it don't care about them little small magnitudes. You know what I'm saying? It don't care about the little small longitudes. You know what I'm saying? You go to little distances like in an instant. You know, the quickest thing, snap the gauntlet ring. You know what I'm saying? He had the O.J. Simpson, Michael Jackson glove that goddamn Thanos had. You faster than that. You ain't even got the snap. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Lena snap and goddamn Atlanta music. Y'all need to bring that back. You know what I'm saying? People want to party for the summertime. Where's the where's that at? Come on now. Where's that at? It's a lot of stuff going on way up here in the Northwest Territory, Ohio. We like that. We like that. Y'all starting to look like comedians and stuff like that. Turning into snitches, turning into other things. Comedians ain't even comedians no more. They like just as serious as some politician or something like that. And they feel like, I don't know if y'all trying to, what is y'all trying to do? Audition for a movie, like a drama movie or something like that? Be a comedian. Where your flair go? Where your flair? You know what I'm saying? Don't let this new shit we going through right now take you through a flare or whatever the case may be. Hey, you watch it. Don't think I don't know who the fuck you is. I'm going to cuss your ass out as soon as I get off this live stream. So you watch your fingers and your knuckles, your sweaty knuckles, or whoever leaving, trying to say the same jokes that you were saying when I had my chat open. You know what I'm saying? Like, be careful. Because y'all already targets. That's why, that's another thing too. Y'all be on people's chats and stuff like that, thinking y'all making people targets from the safe factors of whatever y'all got access to or whatever institution or whatever the case may be. But who else want to become a target? It's about 12 of y'all already. You want to become another one? You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. And don't show no signs that you already are repeating one. Because God knows if it wasn't no weed or anything of that nature, goddamn, a lot of people's life would be fucked up right now. Trust me. Trust me. Oh, everything. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are crazy out y'all mind. Watch your finger snaps. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. You go play with your family. You go play with your balls. You know what I'm saying? You go play with somebody you know. Go play with something safe. You know what I'm saying? Do you want me to crash out on you on live? I got another phone. I crash out on all y'all monkey asses. Do you want me to crash out on y'all and y'all won't even be able to walk safe in your streets right now? I'm giving you grace for that. You already can't walk nowhere in Ohio. You better believe, and I can go everywhere. You better believe it. Don't play with me on my live stream. You better thank God I got my chat open for other purposes. They ain't got nothing to do with you, whatever you thought you get ready to do when you get on live. Don't put your life in danger. And then have me just create 100 live streams teaching people how to discover who be in their chat. Don't think things anonymous. Please don't. I swear to God, please don't. Jesus Christ, help me on my soul. Don't think that's anonymous. Ooh, let me calm down. Ooh, let me chill out. Yeah, let me get all out of thing what I was doing. Matter of fact, we're gonna play some music. You know what I'm saying? Just chill, and then we get back into your astrology. But you don't play y'all knuckle caps like that thing, because nothing save you. I don't care about nothing y'all be into, none of that fluff. Nothing gonna save y'all. I'm not no retarded person that be online thinking, oh, I'm getting spiritually attacked. Ain't nothing about no spiritual attack over this way unless you getting attacked. Ain't nobody getting involved in nothing unless you got involved with something. That's the only way this goes over here. You got involved in something, not me. Don't make up nothing about how somebody make it because y'all online or whatever. I'm gonna tell you that right now. This is real life. This is real life. Understand that. Understand that. This is real life. Don't get online. My chat, my page, the wrong. Especially with what I'm in the middle of right now, my page, the wrong person even do that. Y'all play that with other people.
voice is heavy and it's leaning. Girl, I really hope you ready for the weekend. Woke up in the AM, battles to the PM. Adam was with Eve, headed to the evening. Damn, cheer up with some alcohol, no need for doubt. Party at my crib, you don't need an outfit. Julie in my pants, put a heat about it. Yeah, big old magazine, no need to read about it. Yeah, catch a plane ticket, look, you'll never see a better flight. You depressed about your age, you drop away, let your life. Grew up in the hood, your parents listen in the fatty right. But your generation only good for cooking Betty Rice. Got that ass, ho, that's the only thing you good for. Got that ass, ho, only reason you be stripping cause you need that cash, though. It's a full moon out tonight, cause you Astro. So we in a motherfucking spot. Oh shit, here come the motherfucking cops. Shake that ass, ho, cause we don't give a fuck. Shake that ass, bitch, we don't give a fuck, yeah. Alright, now in this time of you ain't gotta stop. Oh shit, now make it motherfucking drop. Shake that ass, ho, cause we don't give a fuck. Shake that ass, bitch, we don't give a fuck, yeah. Alright. It'll never be the same, shit is getting scary. I think you killed the game, need obituary. In the past like you was a witch and fairy. Now turn around, I wanna get a missionary. On that ass, ho. On that ass, ho. On that ass, ho. On that ass, ho. Yeah, when you be playing dirty, shit just isn't clean. Girl, tell you I ain't with the trickery. Now tell me why nobody know your history. Now tell me why your life is like a mystery. Damn, on Netflix or chill when we in the sheets. Don't gotta watch a movie cause we into deep. When you shake them hips, you make me lick my lips like LL. Don't me along on all my F's, just me and you at Coca-Cola. You a bad bitch, got that money with a loaded check. So you steppin', you the reason why them other hoes are stressed. Every time you steppin' on the scene, get the cheese. Like girl, can you get it on your knees, baby, please? On that ass, ho. On that ass, ho. On that ass, ho. On that ass, ho. When we in the motherfucking spot. Oh shit, here come the motherfucking cops. Shake that ass, ho, cause we don't give a fuck. Shake that ass, bitch, we don't give a fuck, yeah. Alright, now in this motherfucker, you ain't gotta stop. Oh shit, now make it motherfucking drop. Shake that ass, ho, cause we don't give a fuck. Shake that ass, bitch, we don't give a fuck, yeah. Alright.
Now, look, check this out. We're going through a lot of circumstances and foundations in the sky floating around right now. Just so y'all hear gunshots, stuff like that, don't worry about it. I'm in the hood. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, you know, we in go real energies right now to make sure you formulating yourself when we got mutable air. So when we talk about mutable air, that's being mutable, being able to adapt to your own and other people's ways of being able to think and communicate. If you can't swim, don't be out here trying to communicate with everything of that nature. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people lost in the mind. A lot of people got their own intent, their own purposes to why they do what they do. So for the most part, before you over exaggerate and dive into that, you might get lost. So ever get lost in nobody else's mind, tell y'all nothing better. That's the best thing you can do. Because look here, check this out. When you understand your own mind, you understand the process that another person has to take by default to be able to accumulate whatever attribute that they get ready to express with their mind. So for the most part, you need to pay more attention to yourself. Now, if you're in a situation that you want to become intelligent or whatever, you're learning the different hows. You're not learning the what. You're not learning the solution. You're not learning the root cause of whatever you are experiencing at the moment, whether it's a person, whether it's a place, whether it's a thing. You know what I'm saying? You might be in a situation where you're looking at the outcome of something that's already in front of you. This how a lot of y'all get rocked to sleep. This how a lot of things that y'all wanted as far as things end up being like, it ain't what it was all sized up to be before I got it. This how a lot of the locations you go to, you end up being in that position and don't be as excited as you were when it was just in your mind and you was in whatever you was at, whether you was at the crib or however the case may be. So y'all set yourselves up for a letdown based off petty terms in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to get y'all spirits together a lot of times. And not to say this some grave, large illusion of grandeur thing that a spirit has to accomplish just to reach some form of success. Y'all have to stop putting things in the mind state of what y'all consider success too. You know what I'm saying? When I get up here and what make me feel motivated and shit like that, I might feel happy that I discovered or resolved or came up with a solution or accomplished something that ain't got nothing to do with no validation, nobody else. It was an internal challenge for me. You know what I'm saying? And that internal challenge that I have for me, when I show myself I can do that for that amount of time, maybe 3 weeks, maybe 3 months, or whatever the case, maybe 3 years, however, it's an internal thing. And when you actually do that, you actually see true success, because it got something to do with a successful solution for it, maybe an organ illness, maybe a living condition, maybe a circumstance you was in that the distractions that played out in that circumstance didn't allow you to have enough time to pay attention to a gift here, a creative attribute here, a way out of something there, or whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? But these are things when you start to look at it from the starting point. Always look at stuff from pardon me, YouTube and things like that, because mothers out here and stuff like that. I'm saying it's Mother's Day, happy Memorial Mother. Always look at the energy first. You know what I'm saying? Therefore, any attribute that come after, things like numerology and color and things of that nature, that come after the fact too. There's many different layers. You know what I'm saying? But when we get an accumulation, that's when we get a fragment. That's when we get a shift. That's when we get a radiation. That's when we get a color. So when you start to pull back each thing, you'll start to look at the mechanism before it even become those expressions. That's still those expressions, just in a smaller, minute aspect of it or whatever. Train your mind on that area, because it becomes familiarity in areas that we don't be pointing to, calling that term that we slapped on it was familiar. It was just a memory you went through. It's things your spirit remembered beyond you being in this current mind and body. It's things your spirit remember in many shapes and forms, many parasites, bacteria you was, human forms you was, and things of that nature right now. So those are awarenesses that become abilities. As a spirit, you always got those abilities that condense and become the physical reality that we can use as an example of what we call in memory. But it comes from an ability, and memory is on that grounding. And when you start to understand groundings, right, you're able to ground yourself spiritually, especially in certain areas that may got you kind of cloggy at the moment, foggy mind at the moment, manipulating family, friends, and associates and co-workers at the moment. But you might be in that stage at the moment where you don't see that cloth that's put over your eyes, the wool that's put over your eyes, the rose-colored glasses that may be put over your eyes. You may not know that someone else is wearing shades that you don't know what's actually going on behind their esoteric eyes, aka their true intent, what they actually in it for, and is it in your favor or not. So these is a lot of characteristics that we look at before we even start to direct these things into our little biases. Your biases ain't about nothing. You know what I'm saying? So once y'all understand that, boom, you will be able to handle your biases much more sufficiently with the true esoteric concept of moderation. And it don't have anything to do with you might be doing something in the physical that a family, friend, or associate may see you doing, and you just going too far with it or overindulging in it. Then they got to tell you, or you got to remind yourself based upon the physical experience, like I got to do things in moderation. That energy go on in the spiritual world. When you start to see and go into the encyclopedia, start to pay attention to all the words and the meanings we slap on these things, you will start to see, once you peel back layers and look at it from a more lighter stage, if you don't like the word spiritual or whatever, look at these forms that you may be invested in, look at you being invested as a form of heaviness, looking at it from a distance as a form of lightness. And then if you don't like the word spiritual, I'm just giving you the actual thing that you actually gonna do to come to these same conclusions for us to make words like spiritual anyway, which is representing our space. And then be able to observe the circumstance, or however the case, compare and contrast without your bias. You won't be heavily invested into picking what's good or for you. I had another point anyway, but like I said, right, when you're not invested into the situation, you don't allow the situation to dictate your external actions. And when you allow an energies you created and other people to create to dictate your actions, you're living in reactionary energy. And now you miss the point of the initial stage, the initial mechanism that created that thing that you reacting to in the first place. So now you're in a position of not resolving the actual issue. You got to go to the esoteric drugstore and get small portions of esoteric pills and red pills to rock you to sleep for just this day to be cool, just that week to be cool. But when that same cycle come around again, next week, next month, right? You need that esoteric crutch again. And a lot of times it manifests into the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension as a lot of things that we do or whatever. Not just, I don't just beat up religion or whatever. I don't beat up nothing. Everybody got their crutching system. But for the most part, this is where it comes from. You know what I'm saying? And not to say having a crutch is negative in general. It's just saying that you on your way, but for the most part, you can't be baby feeded or being on an esoteric mother's nipple for too long or whatever the case. And once it becomes something of the same, you start to put it in a different energy that once it looked at positive, it looked like love, it start to look like it's negative, it start to look like pain. AKA, you keep doing the same thing thinking you're going to get different results. And God ain't putting everybody on that mission. You know what I'm saying? So God got to come to you for you to filter that through anything you experiencing, no matter what you involved in, all the way down to religion, all the way down into whatever degrees, whatever the hell, anything, and like cutting grass or whatever. First, you got to have God first. And if you don't like the term God, all possibilities. If you don't like the word all possibilities, I don't know no other word in the encyclopedia that even match it. Because if you ain't a person that's limited in your possibilities, but that formation in your mind of something can be possible, if you ain't got that, you somebody I wouldn't even want to be around. Because it could be something that I see that's very well possible, and I have experience being possible. And in your small world, it may have led you to think what I'm looking at ain't nowhere near possible. And at that point, it'd be something that's normal to me trying to explain something to you. And it'd be like I'm talking to a spiritual toddler. And whatever I'm saying, it'd be foreign to you or whatever. And then for the most part, if we going in the same direction to the promised land, something negative might happen having you on that ship with us. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you got to look at the spiritual lenses and stuff and people you dealing with and things of that nature. Because, man, the world ain't about nothing, though. But for the most part, you don't have to be that. But it's about those kind of energies you jump in to not participate in that, but still having to participate. So you have control over it. You don't let these things make you run. And this is what a lot of y'all be going through a lot of times too, especially when it comes into dealing with y'all relationships or y'all insecurities or y'all instabilities or y'all disgruntled energies with other individuals as far as, you know, maybe it's friends, associates, or maybe family in a lot of y'all cases, however. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times it just be the regret of not stopping something that you wasn't willing to finish once it started, or however the case may be. Yet, all the things that was blinding you within the distractions of it made it a go. Made it green, made it accepted in your heart, or whatever the case. And then that leads us into a situation of be careful what you ask for, cliche terms. You know what I'm saying? And don't nobody want to be in that space or be around others that start to formulate their mouth and their throat chakra to say some shit like this. I told you so. Somebody want to hear that. Nobody want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? See, I told you, you know what I'm saying, because we work hard to try to be like, man, even if I'm wrong, I don't want to be right, because this is what made me feel comfortable. And a lot of times we don't be getting out of that small form that's an ego. It's narcissistic energy too. You just might not see it in that manner. There's a lot of things we don't be paying attention to that it be the same qualities just be playing out on smaller magnitudes. And we don't be checking ourselves. And we go out into these grocery stores. We go out into these family functions. We go out into who we think we friends with and stuff like that. Toxic as ever. You know what I'm saying? Toxic as a mama. And then we got the nerve to see our qualities be explained and got the nerve to be like, yup, that's what I be seeing. Yup, that's what I be experiencing. Yup, that be these people. No, it be you. You know what I'm saying? You just somebody talking real good about something you do 24/7. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we be having to get out of our funks, and that's all of us. You know what I'm saying? This ain't got nothing to do with some global thing, and we all need to create a narrative about this, some self-personal thing. And if you, all spiritual people know that. You know what I'm saying? Spiritual people will tell you real quick, we ain't no leaders, but we can lead the way. You know what I'm saying? So what do that mean? I ain't about to be here to lead or make you do anything, but what I've already done may be a direction you need to go. You either could look at it as an example, or you could goddamn kick rocks with John Clethigh open-toe sandals on. You know what I'm saying? It's your choice or whatever the case may be. Not gonna force you. Not gonna create another way of saying it to make it seem like it's convincing to you. I ain't got time for that. God worked hard enough on my spirit going through that. You think I got time to duplicate it for you? You need time to grow up as a spirit. So you might need to scrape your little spiritual baby knee a few times. off the goddamn esoteric training wheel bike. You know what I'm saying? You might got to fall off the skateboard a few times and stuff like that. You might got to realize the fire is hot a few times. If I be too much in control over the outcome of when you in these type of circumstances, those 3 circumstances, then for the most part, I ain't doing something right. And I'm wasting time on something that I could be doing that could be beneficial, that ultimately could play out as an example. You might be too busy seeing what I'm doing and being inspired to even care about putting your hand on the stove, seeing if it's hot or not. And that's what we are. That's the real each one teach one in the spiritual world. You know what I'm saying? That's the real concept of it. But everybody don't be on their path. Everybody don't be on their mission. Everybody be trying to get something out of something. You know what I'm saying? Everybody be trying to, you got a lot of people online. I've been online longer than everybody, but it's certain respect that God see that y'all can use me as a vessel when I express it to be able to hear it through your eardrums and stuff like that. Simple stuff like this. You got people online right now don't even, and then they came online way after. So a lot of people don't even care to get online if they ain't getting paid. A lot of people don't even care to get online if they didn't get a certain donations that day. A lot of people. So they're on different volitions. They're not on God volition. Sometimes God needs you to express something that don't have anything to do with what you expect, what your bias is. You know what I'm saying? It might be something that might reach what you want now, 10 years later, for you to not even be around to reap the benefits. But if you're on that mission, you'll be reaping benefits in other ways that won't even have you care about what you was expecting the benefits to come. Like God is special in so many different ways without the ED and LD on it. And y'all just don't bask in that energy. You got to bask in it. You know what I'm saying? Redirect your faith out of the retarded, I live inverted backwards quality, where you took your spirit and soaked yourself in the earth. And then your mind is being used for your body. But really your spirit first, your mind, your body, then the external world. Always have that in order. When you don't have that in order, you put your spirit, you always have to use your first body by default. But you confuse yourself with investing yourself more into the physical. So you end up being with the body, being invested into what the body can do and what it can do with the external world as far as attract or put out energy. And then for the most part, you have to use your mind for these things. So your mind get limited to all the capabilities it has to do. It has capabilities to do all the way down to persuasion, gaining attention for someone to even like what you're doing. All that get passed up on, or whatever the case may be. And you end up putting more time and investing your energy into creating something that mimics something that you quote unquote made up in your mind you think everybody else already like. And you get good at these things a few times because we're in social norms. But you will start to go through these experiences long enough to realize that it's too hard to uphold. You can't uphold that expression every day. There's a lot of traits that don't come with that expression that you only feel comfortable doing behind closed doors, and you end up creating more confusion on how to allow these people in that part of your life. And then if you would, depending on how far you went in that world and how quote unquote the social norm successful, right? You may be surrounded by a whole bunch of people that's only around for that expression that you get tired of upholding. You end up being Batman and Haley and be dying inside to be Bruce Wayne sometimes, or Haley without the makeup. You know what I'm saying? But based off the social norms, would it look like you crashing out the soccer team that day? Would it look like for you not being that representation everybody is expecting for you when you show up? You see what I'm saying? And that's when you start to feel like your spiritual back, or you got the spiritual the world on your spiritual shoulders. Those is when you're going through those times. And it comes from so many little petty times that accumulated, it become large. And then for the most part, it become heavy. And a lot of times when you create that circumstance, you don't be inside that mind state, but you wear it. So you wear it as an expectation. You could know you the shit, but you expect not to get the highest percentage of reciprocation because of what you previously experienced. So sometimes that play out through the way you move your elbow and how you construct your wording to the point it'll play out that way. Someone get that position you was going for, that you way more talented in, and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? But it's just an internal daily bread spiritual battle. And you have to build that internal yeast, build that internal GMO. And not GMO, but yeah, we genetically be creating modifications and stuff like that. We just do it for real. You see what I'm saying? We do it for real. But you got to know that's what you're doing. When you don't know that's what you're doing that anyway. You just doing it for things in the external world. So that's what makes you fatigue faster, because you're using this quality already for purposes that may not have anything to do with the reciprocation of it. You're really not supposed to put your energy in nothing you don't get it back in, or whatever. A lot of times when you don't get that back end energy, this would make people crash out. This would make people start to second question something. But you be in situations that start on basis where you're not able to look at it from that frame, or whatever the case may be. But it's just really on a root basis from a spiritual nature. You shared space with others and other spiritual spaces, and you emanated more awarenesses and ideas, and it played out as actions too that catered to the overall circumstance y'all all was participating in. You just stopped seeing the reciprocation of the value back. You just thought, and it play out in other ways first as the mental effort. And when you don't realize that's what's going on, you a regular person in life get ready to do tit for tat with whoever you're dealing with that type of scenario with, right? But if you're spiritually smart, before you even get into the tit for tat, you will start shaming yourself. You'll be like, okay, I participated with this for this particular bias, and the amount of effort is no longer worth it because a lot of times it ain't about controlling others, but it's about who could put more energy into a situation. They end up being the pirate of that ship, and wherever that group of bubbles, y'all mind, and coming together to be a water wave where it's going. And it's up for the strong spirit to make the decision internally. Do you want to take that responsibility or not? Because you being the one that could steer the ship better just means in actuality, you have more awareness than all other participants. You see things that they're not seeing about the involvement that y'all got together. You took actions based upon you seeing things that other people didn't see. And those actions was predicated on you doing these things thinking that other people would catch the hint. A week would go by, same scenario, a person had the same response, not a different response you constructed it in. You start to have these spiritual awarenesses of, I know this person see what I'm doing. That's really too petty. And Galileo didn't make no word in a dictionary to describe what all of us, including Galileo, was experiencing, right? Yet we all the same with similar organs. Why this person acting like? Then you have to start questioning. Is this person trying to take you as a fool? Is this person trying to take advantage of you? Or this person just don't know? And that could go for 6 months. That could go for 3 years. A lot of the people don't be having time for these things. This is why it's important to be spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Because you're able to stop these type of circumstances in its tracks. Or if you already involved, but it just so happened, the sooner the better, you become spiritually evolved throughout that situation. You're able to throw away what kind of reaction that would make the average individual stay. You're able to throw away that and be like, no, I actually need to separate from and even if y'all created purposes together, you'll have that internal faith that it'll be all right. And it's not going to be all wrong just because a lot of people be in situations like that share kids. You know what I'm saying? I was in a situation like that. You know what I'm saying? And these are things we have to learn being an adult. You don't have to be with somebody forever just because y'all got things together like bills or kids or whatever. And it's going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be all right. But it's about the energy you in. If you in an energy that you don't think is going to be all right, you're manifesting that. You're going to be talking to other people that things ain't right for them. You're going to manifest another situation for you to have another conversation to talk about why things ain't right. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's you being in a funk. It's you being in that spiritual space. So when you get yourself out of that space, the longer time periods of percentage scale you put in something is the same amount of effort it takes to get out of something and fully start to even out the odds on the opposite side of that energy on a percentage scale. So here's where a lot of spirits may fall short. They may have invested themselves so much on the wrong path. The moment they try to change and do right and go back on the right path, a lot of situations start to happen to remind them it ain't even worth it, or what's the point, or ain't nothing gonna change. You just another nigga in the hood. You know what I'm saying? How they be doing, how they do stuff. Y'all know how they do stuff. But a lot of times it be those kind of energies and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But knowing this awareness, it's esoteric pills. I'm an esoteric medicine man. It goes beyond things in nature. It would allow you to be aware of something new Take that esoteric pill, so when you go down that path and reach that fork in the road again, you know to keep waiting just a little bit longer. That next second could be your break. That next minute, that next week, that next day, that next year could be your break. Hold on just a little longer. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of spirits don't make it. You know what I'm saying? And this is how you talk about spirituality that goes beyond all of our physical traits, but you're spiritually expanded enough to put it in the context that no matter what walk of life, what part of the ladder you on, you're breaking down the ladder itself. So the ladder itself suits all, fit all shoe sizes, can relate to all backgrounds, because you're breaking down a position that a person is in to stimulate what they do externally in the first place. And when we in that space, these things be all similar. No matter if you a thief, game banger, drug dealer, blue collar, white collar, scammer, business robber, backstabber, highest greed person, no matter what role or the shift you on. You know what I'm saying? Or on the negative end, most person getting taken advantage of, most person get abused, most person stay around too long, knowing that it ain't a situation to stay too long in and stuff like that. All these situations, our spirits know what to do. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, we can be lost in all these delusions and all these type of things of that nature. But this is how we connect. But for the most part, once you understand the mechanism, the energy itself that stimulate into it being a ladder, then you get into that filter system. What part of the ladder are you on? Is you a thief? Is you a manipulator? Is you this? Is you gullible? Is you that? But every walk of life, no matter that path, starts on the ladder. And all you got to do is understand the ladder and be a representation of the ladder. So a person can use you as inspiration or an example of what not to do when you fall short and make a mistake. And hopefully you're on a spiritual path, so it ain't as bad. So for the most part, your mistake, you're in a position where it ain't the what, it's the how. You're still able to be an example of how you dealt with it better than someone else who would just crash out or whatever the case may be. And you got something coming for you. God gonna give you something. God gonna give you all beautiful gifts and all kind of stuff when you do stuff like that. Even at a time you think it wasn't coming. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got to peep game. It's deep. Spirituality is deep. But spirituality represents your space. And for the most part, a lot of y'all don't value your space unless it got something to do with you needing some space because you're being smothered with your own or other people's problems. Your own being that the problems you have developed interacting with other individuals and stuff. So you need to separate for a little bit. But at the same time, it don't have anything to do with that. When you built your sufficient space, you could be around anybody because you built up all the neurons and actions it takes to do with little do you know, people work hard to be these things every day, to be these fathers, mothers, sons, daughters, nieces, nephews, employees, managers, associates, friends, all these people in your life that you are one of these things. What you don't realize is how hard people work hard to uphold whatever you think you seeing and you think is an easy ride for you to be in your own insecurity and break down when you by yourself. You don't know the half. And based upon you having somebody like me expressing something like that, that gives you that small little medicine, for you to understand, no, hold on to that tear a little bit longer. Hold on to that setback just a little bit longer for you to react to it negatively. Hold on to that energy or whatever making you feel the way you feel that holds you back in any type of circumstance. Hold that back just a little bit longer. And that whatever you was developing to be like, it's okay. No, it ain't that bad. Keep going with that. You know what I'm saying? That's esoteric gems and gold. And just by being in the space of knowing, right? The point ain't you knowing everything. The point is you choose that space, not the space of the path of not knowing. So your mind is going to make scenarios that condense and become physical situations for you to actually know something. Don't get scared when it's an extreme situation that happened that you don't know, and then you got to act on instant, emanating your own awarenesses for the first time, just like how we created our first mind and organs and things of that nature. Don't get scared. because that's what you asked for. You asked to know something. Okay, it take training wheels and building blocks and neurons and things for you to actually know something. Don't get scared. You see what I'm saying? Once you get scared, you're going back into the energy that I'm talking about. You're running away when you were supposed to sit there and face that evil just a little longer. Sit there, face that problem just a little longer. Sit there, face, ready to run. It was nothing that was get ready to make you do a cartwheel away somewhere or something like that, or go in the opposite direction and hold down and push A and B real fast if you play Sega Genesis and Sonic the Hedgehog on the second on the cover. You know what I'm saying? No matter how it is or whatever, don't be waiting on nobody either. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody ain't gonna be in the picture. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to go your way and go fast. Everybody gonna be in the picture. I played Sega the Genesis and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and stuff like that. Man, sometimes I want to beat the level and stuff like that. Tails will disappear for the whole session. I ain't got no time to wait and Tails catch up. Tails keep dying. Dome. You know what I'm saying? You be running, get ready to, about to fight Dr. Robotnik. You hear dun 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 dun. Man, we ain't got no time for Tails to be drowning. I don't even want to hear that sound if I'm drowning in the fire. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be a lot of stuff going on and stuff like that. You can't be waiting on nobody. The sun ain't gonna wait for you. The goddamn thing gonna wait for you. Not a goddamn thing gonna wait for you. So y'all gotta understand these things. Don't be all lost in the sauce and stuff and be thinking that something gonna wait, and then you think morality means you should wait. No, morality ain't say go wait, because you're gonna be waiting. There's gonna be daytime, nighttime, daytime, nighttime, daytime. That let you know ain't nothing waiting. No light ray, no cloud, no butterfly, no squirrel, nothing waiting. You don't really want waiting around for something retarded. So you got to be careful. You know what I'm saying? It don't make sense. And we talking about in the mind, talking about getting up for your biases. Saying that, oh yeah, this person ain't gonna be trying to help me with this goal, this, that, and third. A lot of times you got to be in a position to show a person that they can even care about it. Because a lot of times you have to realize people got their own problems. You don't never understand that people have their own problems and stuff like that. Who leaving paragraphs? What's your zodiac sign? I'm saying, because you can't be in here leaving paragraphs and stuff like that. Those zodiac sign. Please don't be trying to act like it's bots and stuff like. No, you're real people. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody, we ain't going on with that. So don't come create no confusion or that on my channel because you confused. You know what I'm saying? Don't run no psyops on my page. And we in a psyop because it's a psyop. This is what you need to understand, right? If you are Christian, right? You have no business being online. Like, you have no business being on people's social media. So online, it's a bunch of real people online. So you on my page, right? So what else do you think I think? Real life, I know real Christians don't even care on you even being. So what else do you think? People ain't dumb. So what else do you think I'ma think? Or other people? We're going, it's CIA. There ain't nothing else. You be in your own mind and be like, hey, let's do this because people in real life think it's when y'all got online, y'all are open to larger percentage scale of people's regular minds and stuff. Y'all just coming to grips with realizing don't nobody care about stuff y'all teach in the institutions. Like it's only y'all take these things and come out in the world and have to learn as y'all go so y'all can update it. So if you're not in a space of being able to explain things how I'm able to explain it, you have no business even allowing whoever your handler is to pay you to even do that. You have to watch yourself, watch who you doing things to, or watch what you think is in the world for you to think you're practicing on. And that's the last thing I want y'all to think is cool with. I'm highly spiritual. You could take something that I'm saying like you think I believe it and then try to utilize it through whatever you being retarded to even be in that position in the first place for you to think was intelligent. That's the last thing you want to do. That is crash out. That is failure. You see what I'm saying? When you lack creativity on your own, You lack something to present for yourself. So you have to spend more time taking from what others have developed that on their own with. That's really internally building. That's really finding internal light. Anything else is lostness. Like it don't play in nobody's whip. It don't play in nobody's ride. And you've been hyped up for a check, thinking you're going to be in a position of some fake God in your mind of controlling the world and the land or whatever, and you just some college punk. The end. But welcome to real life. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go for real life. Knowledge of this land or nothing. Y'all got what somebody taught y'all, and that's not the story of this land. Y'all don't got the knowledge of nothing. So y'all just show yourself as someone who's lost. So once you start talking about American and all this other type stuff or whatever, you're just showing me you're lost. So you got certain mind frames that like it's based on simple things. Don't make it too deep on my page or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? You come on my page making paragraphs about Jesus or whatever the case may be. It don't mean in my mind what it mean in your mind. In my mind, you just lost in Spanglerism. I mean, I don't have anything to do with me. If you want to, we're just going to get into what insecurity and what bias you have to make you think that was suitable for you to feel comfortable. Whatever. You expressing it on my page matters none. I only care about the feelings y'all be in. I look at people who be in feelings and stuff as a mental illness. Not just being in feelings, but making your feelings react a certain way. For an example, right? Somebody in the hood that I admire. If my feelings make me react to the point that I feel like I have to manipulate my way to be their friend or whatever the case may be, then I lack something. So there's going to be a lot of things I have to pull to build as a sustaining system for whatever I'm doing to work. All the way down to, it may be certain expressions I got to do that I had to sit back and look at this person from a distance to be like, oh, this person like this. So they like their best friends to do cartwheels. So next time I see this person at audition, I'm going to make sure I do cartwheels or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I now put my spirit in somebody else's world. And it takes a lot of other lost spirits and worlds that they were in order to make that work. So I end up only being a person that can copy. I end up being then we all try to build up motivation. So my whole motivation of me feel like I need to be intelligent, all the things I'm looking at in the world make me feel like I'm not. I would with a false sense of intelligence. I would be like, all right, well, maybe I'm more intelligent because I can manipulate someone. Or maybe I'm more intelligent because I can make somebody feel like I need them. But that's not intelligence. That's a lack of something. That's not no form of intelligence. Because in all actuality, manipulation isn't even a thing. Manipulation only works when you're doing it to a person who couldn't imagine you doing that to them. Other than that, if that person been around the block a few times, it ain't really too much you can do, whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? So that really manipulation ain't nothing either. You know what I'm saying? You can't play a person that been around the block a few you're either dealing with a manipulator or someone. This shit probably was blurry the whole time. I didn't realize I had the Wi-Fi. I was supposed to turn that off. But the fireworks. But a lot of times, manipulation don't even work on somebody who been around the block a few times. So manipulation sometimes, when a person invests themselves in that energy, it backfires in some way, shape, or form. Because you're already in a spiritual space. So you only could start attracting people in that spiritual space also. So it's always going to be a cutthroat energy. People end up backstabbing each other that they meet, or someone meeting a match in some ways. It ain't gonna never be nothing else, because it's really about a whole bunch of stuff people ain't really supposed to be doing anyway. Like, everybody's really supposed to be minding their business. So when a person don't mind their business, it's because they haven't developed nothing creative to express to be their business and connect it with other individuals and stuff like that. So everybody has to find some motivation of how to feel good about themselves. So you just have very low hanging fruit people that come up with very retarded stuff to feel good about themselves. It just so happens that we got social norms going on right now. So a lot of these same type of individuals created safe havens for damaged people and demons. So this is how you get like red pill and all these subsidiaries and stuff and things of that nature that people could lean on. Well, I'm like this because of this. I'm like that because of that. I'm like this because of this book. Well, I'm like this because of this. You just flunk. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got nothing to do with nothing else. You just like lost in some type of energy and you know you ain't shit. But it really ain't what you doing. It's because a lot of times people get pushed to do crazy stuff. It don't be about what they actually doing. It's about what they're actually going through already that built that stimuli and motivation. So when even when it comes to people who want to create genocide, it's because in their personal life, they're inside of an energy that match that same percentage scale. So it's an extreme. So for a person to want to create genocide on their own time, it got to be like a group of men that don't have no hopes of their dick ever getting bigger. Like there's nothing they come to conclusions like there's nothing I can do. There's nothing ever, nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then for the most part, you get into taking energy, but then you get into like a justification why after a while that everybody got to live anyway. So what's wrong is wrong. So, people try to mimic other people's traumas and people try to analyze what was done and blame shift or whatever the case may be. But for a person to create any extremity is because they already going through something extreme internally already. You know what I'm saying? Your actions is built off your motivations. Your motivations is built off your intent. And your intent is built off your biases. And people don't have a healthy sense of how they are obtaining their biases. You know what I'm saying? People don't have a healthy sense of that world. So they already live backwards. They're already not spiritually connected to nothing. So they already using their space, their spirit, and their mind for things of the physical and the flesh first. So they think maybe manipulating the body, manipulating something externally, maybe an idea, maybe a billboard, maybe something like that. I'm just using these as examples of when a person expressed themselves to throw you off from what's actually going on. These are different overcompensations and things. A person lack real spiritual connection. So for the most part, when you give a person a meaning to what you're doing, a person like that will want to argue with you, right? But here's the thing. The reason why the argument exists in the first place is because you developed something creative that created the feminine energy called attraction, and that person didn't. And that person is trying to find why they couldn't create that energy. So the lack of attention or the lack thereof of organ or dick size or whatever the case may be, right, start to play out in other areas. Almost to, I still need to feel intelligent. So now they become intelligent retards and degenerates. Their highest form of intelligence is creating a dichotomy with another individual who don't need to have the argument if they dig already big. It's a person who don't need to have the argument if you already know. So when you have a knowing, you're not trying to understand. So when you try to describe this knowing, you're just going to have somebody who don't know trying to, but here's the thing. It don't matter if we speak language or not. If I know how to swim and we ain't create a language, right? You still know you have to learn how to swim, and you could just watch me. And if we call it swimming a talent, you could watch me do what I do, regardless if we create a language and I decipher it as a God showed me this or whatever the case may be. Based upon y'all being in these type of arguments and stuff like that, you separate yourself from understanding the true things that's actually going on and get into rhetoric arguments that's based on your insecurity that you're not bringing to the surface. You're only really that motivated to argue with a whole bunch of other musty nuts because your nuts are shriveled. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, your nuts was a well healthy size. You'll spend a little bit more time with your wife at night. And that's just real. That's real parts of life. Not no red pill, not no, you know what I'm saying? Life is something else. Life don't be what y'all trying to create as esoteric narrative billboards. That ain't life. You know what I'm saying? Life got something to do with mannerisms and characteristics, and the better you know how to relate and put in sync and do a relatable in sync characteristics, even when it's time to separate. That's when that's when you cold. That's when you cold for God and stuff like that. You doing it like God. Swift, nobody got to know because it was already understood. Don't need to be said. So a lot of y'all, goddamn it, be talking to God. God ain't saying shit to y'all because a lot of shit you're supposed to already understand. You see what I'm saying? Real shit. Just like knowing how to swim when you in some water. You don't know how to swim, you gonna drown. And if you was sitting around expecting God gonna make sure I get across the river, so you gonna see how long it take for you to get across the river. You know what I'm saying? Until you get some understanding, and then once you get across the river, learning how to swim, then you can sit back. Damn, God taught me that, because whatever did this, the guy across did what I just did. Now, anybody else who don't know how to do that, I can teach them how to move their elbow and left kneecap, or whatever the case may be. You see what I'm saying? Other than that, if you ain't doing that, you ain't helping humanity. You hurting humanity. You ain't helping nothing, not even yourself, unless it's your pockets, or unless it's y'all hurting your family or your friends or associates, or acting like you don't care about them like that, or whatever the case. But other than that, it ain't. Here's the thing: even when y'all be going through disgruntled or frustrating energies, you supposed to care about that when it comes to close people. Care not to. If it's a stranger or something like that, you shouldn't even care to dislike or like. Unless you're developing that relationship, and if it's getting more on a percentage scale of dislike, you ain't supposed to care to waste time with that. But people you close to, or people that you rather be frustrated with, you take that. You know what I'm saying? So even if it's something you don't like, based upon somebody you close with or whatever, you rather have it from that person than someone else. Trust me. Because a lot of y'all don't look at life like that. Go out in this world and have a stranger do something to y'all crazy, or get in some of these corporations and stuff, have some of these people do something to y'all you will never let somebody in the hood or suburbs do to you, and things of that nature, and can't really do nothing about it unless you get ready to crash out like Pooh Shiesty and Big 30. You see what I'm saying? Real, this is a crazy world out in this mom. You know what I'm saying? It's a real crazy world, man. And right, man, y'all got to understand what's going on. When you don't know what's going on, man, life will bite you in the butt before a person, and sometimes it'll play out like a person, though. Sometimes it'll play out like a person. Sometimes it can play out like a mosquito. It was that day you was all excited and stuff like that. And next thing you know, before y'all went to Geauga Lake or Six Flags, or, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, SeaWorld, you got a big old mosquito bite in the back of your left eardrum or something like that. And it ruined your whole day. You got the itch and scratch on every roller coaster, itch and scratch, the eating cotton candy and stuff. You're looking at everybody else who don't got an itch and scratch and stuff like, you know what I'm saying, ruin your whole day as a child. You know what I'm saying? Like, my whole day was ruined. I got my big mosquito there because you got too excited. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't thinking. It was other awarenesses. God was like, look, child, calm down. You wasn't calming down, running around, thinking and watching cartoons and stuff. Big old mosquito behind your ear bump. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be a lot of stuff that God be teaching us that come in many forms. It ain't always got to come as an actual person and things of that nature. It'd be scenarios. God play out as scenarios. God, if the scenario was a person, it'd be God. God is scenarios. When you in a scenario, you inside of a body. When you inside of your mother, you was in a smaller version of that. Now you inside of Big Mama, Gucci Manitou. Any situation or scenario you in, you're inside of something. You know what I'm saying? You ain't outside of it. You inside having to interact. You know what I'm saying? So you're getting birthed. You're getting birthed. You came up out of the water. You came on the land. You get ready to go in the air. You get ready to go in the light and come and create more expanded energies at most DAP. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff, man. This is the stuff that everybody need to be understanding in their life. They can expand their spirit, so put them in a more creative space. The little creativity that you in, once you leave the space God put you in to have that talent and have other eyes on you in the first place, that God will take it away from you, and then you have to do other tricks, magic tricks and Chris Angel tricks, and sign contracts if you in the industry, or if you just in the hood or something like that. Play out characteristics you think other people like, that you will be able to transmute it into you being the only person with that. You know what I'm saying? You can see drug dealers and stuff do that every day, but it get deep when there's big money involved and you have lame people trying these tactics. That's when it gets to the actual characteristics and qualities that these type of situations is built on ain't even involved. Yet these things is being played as a game from players who don't know how to make a game. So it's people who take a game that's already created and create a soft porn version of it. You know what I'm saying? And then for the most part, you got to go by the rules. They create a concept to make you think you winning, even if you on a losing end, and create a circumstance like this losing end is for other purposes. A whole bunch of weak other religious version type gods and stuff where we got to believe in something we can't see. So like dumb. And when y'all hear me talk about stuff that y'all can't see, I describe it in the way that you're able to see it, even when it comes into visualizing, right? When it comes into another aspect with a lot of y'all other circumstances that y'all be crashing out, those be made purely on the basis of justifying why you just want to be a crash out and a degenerate. It really don't be on nothing real or nothing like that, because if it was, qualities and creativity would be seen. Not more energy of people not knowing what to do with themselves, wanting to be a part of something. And these things is being replaced with, if you have some type of creativity, you have something other people want to be a part of, and you will attract other people who creative, so that spark becomes bigger. People not in that energy. You know what I'm saying? People not in the energy of expanding. People is in the energy of contracting and reacting, not expanding and acting, and then equaling that out. You know what I'm saying? When you're more invested into reacting and contracting, all your actions is still into a small frame bubble little world. And you end up justifying what's good and bad. That's really small-minded. Like your spirit is so much more powerful. Your spirit is so much more bigger. You could be doing so much more stuff. It's just y'all justify a lot of things that y'all doing based on if you're going to be on a movie or not. If you're going to get a lot of attention from a bunch of other retards or not. And if you did something the right way, you're doing something that everybody in the world, people who give attention and receive it, trying to do. All you have to do is be in that position. You're in a healthy position of giving and receiving attention on a broad scale. You know what I'm saying? And so you're helpful to yourself and others. But people don't understand that and things. You know what I'm saying? So when a person want to retract themselves, they still going to do what everybody else is doing anyway. They just might want to take it. And this when you get those manipulating family, friends, associates, co-workers, strangers, or whoever that you're dealing with in your life. You know what I'm saying? It's individuals that had time to think to do that. So that we all got the same 24 hours. So the time you took to develop that attention, they didn't use they time for that. They used their time to maybe take yours so they can get your bitches, or take yours so they can get your position in that career, or take your, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't necessarily that was their only way of getting to that position. They're not developing the actual rooted qualities or whatever the case. So a lot of times when a person lack their culture or lack whatever that they got going on or whatever, right, they end up coming up with solutions in their mind of justifying what they think is right. That's on the basis of scam. That's on the basis of grift. You know what I'm saying? That's on the basis of, well, let me just justify this because, and then that'll go on so long. So many people will participate with that. They'll come up with some type of secret cult thinking that this what it means to be intelligent. And anybody who don't know this manipulation trick ain't intelligent. But that's all it is, a manipulation trick. And in real life, everybody ain't expecting they father, mother, uncle, auntie, niece, nephew, friend, social co-worker. Ain't nobody really expecting someone to be invested into something that just leads to manipulating. So that's the root of it. It don't have anything to do with someone being intelligent and someone not. It has everything to do with other people are invested into other things that they're considering important. And you have other people that invest their time into other things that they consider important. Now, when we compare and contrast the ground basis of the bias, one gonna be a scammer and one ain't. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't gonna go no further than that. If y'all think you go any further than that, that's when you get lost a little bit. And then once you get lost or whatever the case may be, you end up being one of these individuals that justify evil. You know what I'm saying? You justify negativity, and you try to say, and you already live in hell. So I bet you got a long morality about how the world is hell anyway, and how people need to be retarded. So I bet you got a whole, but you end up being the only person in hell. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about it. Whatever we do in the external world, we only are able to do that with ourselves once we ain't got our body no more, and we only in our first body, the mind. And if we ain't know how to transition out of that and only know how to stay in those characteristics, those characteristics only going to play out as our own experiences that we think the people we familiar with is in. So there's gonna be dreams and stuff like that, and you in your own pocket, own world, getting ready to experience a hell. Because every day you're gonna start realizing something ain't right. AKA, there's no other sentient beings around you, and these images is just you, or whatever. Now your only way of shutting that off is shutting off your elements, shutting off your visions. I don't want to see it. Your fire, your way of feeling, shutting off your emotions. I don't want to feel this way. So it been in and become a stimuli that you think is real. You thought you really had to pee, and you peeing all on yourself, but you ain't even, your body dead. So, you know what I'm saying there? So then you shut off the water. Then you want to shut off the earth. Oh, no, I ain't in a body. Oh, this hurt. I don't want to feel this no more. This the impactful energy. Then you shut off the air. I don't want to think no more. I don't want to think. And then you go in non-existence. Your spirit got nothing to be inside of to be existing. So you become non-existent. You know what I'm saying? And then you just out of existence. And that be taking certain spirits eons. Because certain spirits been in multiple bodies and animals and stuff like that, doing the same thing, and God showing them, this is what you need to do, child, to have grace. And they never take it. They end up always taking the victim route. I don't got this, so everybody else need to feel like this. Not, I don't got this. Let me be the representation of how to deal with not having this for everybody else. Or let me be the representation of what I don't have. So when a person start to build up resentment, they go down the mind state of justifying, well, if I'm hurt like this the world then. And other people need to feel like this then, or whatever the case may be. And then for the most part, that's a self-victimhood. And this is a person that play out in the external world, making other people victims about something or whatever. That's a person that's getting ready to go to hell, because they need to do things that they're already damaged with internally, externally, to make them feel good. So when they don't have nobody and they just in their own mind, nobody, they don't have no external stimuli and other attention, spirits and minds to give energy to that person to fulfill whatever entertained them, or for them to feel like themselves. They have to learn how to do it on their own. And if they spent too much time building their stimuli, utilizing it with their condensed organs from other people, being in other people's world, they're going to hate themselves, hate their own thoughts, hate the ability of not being able to attract from everybody else. That's hell without the body. You know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of people might be like, how do you know? You never died and came back. Everybody died and came back. You know what I'm saying? What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't even know how to make a brain and differ than another species if your spiritual space wasn't here longer than that species on their starting point. You know what I'm saying? So monkeys and gorillas came after y'all. Y'all didn't come from them. There was some ancient species that was a monkey-like something, and then all y'all came. No, a human is a human. And if you got more traits are built off familiarity. Familiarity means something was in repeat. So whether you was in this exact form or not, your spirit was in that reincarnation repeat to calculate the ability of memories to build into making similar organs longer than a spirit that became aware after you and having to use their own and your substance for them to be like mosquitoes and monkeys and everybody else or whatever. So if they're less on a percentage scale of awareness, they came after. You know what I'm saying? So you might say, if you too scientifical and you atheist, that's pseudo. Well, let me make it make sense to you then, since you think you need peer-reviewed records all the time or whatever the case may be. If I was in this math class longer than you when you came to this school or whatever, and you ain't have no math class, I'm more familiar with the math class than you or whatever the case may be. So end the story. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's if I know the thing that you have to be, you need to know 4 + 4 = 8 too, or whatever. If I knew it before you, yet that's the sustainable mechanism, or whatever the case may be. It don't matter what you came up with. You still got to come to that same conclusion. Now you could come to your own route, your own how, whatever the case may be. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know the point anyway. But y'all get it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we be just going through these realms and stuff like that, and y'all don't really know what's going on because y'all living out of order and stuff. And then y'all predicate things in the physical first, and then y'all think that the physical is separate from the spiritual. But really the spiritual condensed and became the physical. You know what I'm saying? So when you understand that it's a transition, now you back connected. Now you just got to know what part out of order you on so you can put yourself back in order. When you're disconnected, you're going to be left in dichotomies. This ain't that. Oh, my thought ain't no actual substance that create influence or impactful energy in any kind of way. Or you know what I'm saying? We're already doing something before we express it physically. We're already doing it in the mind. We're doing it. So it's an aura. Now, physically, that means you have gained comfortability with it. You're already in that cloud. That doesn't mean what you had going on, no one knows. People just know it in that frame. You see what I'm saying? People know different things in different frames. So they're not going to know it to express it physically, but they're going to know it in the area you created it in. If it's something mental, they may not know how to explain it, but they're going to know that's what you're doing mentally. You see what I'm saying? So it's like that. All the way going back to the point, if I was in math class longer than you, then that means I know the math or whatever the case. So that means I had more repetition. So when you look at a monkey or however the case, if you a human who know how to use your brain more than a monkey, then that means spiritually you was in this math class longer than the monkey who just came there, like the description or the allegory I made or whatever the case. So yeah, they got to eat, fucking sleep just like you. You just got a little bit more intelligence of it. You got to learn 4 + 4 = 8 just like me. I was doing this a little longer than you though, so I might know how to get there faster than you. I might know, hey, this is another way, 2 and 6. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is another way, 2 subtract 8. I mean 8 subtracting 2 or whatever the case may be. I mean 10 subtracting 2 or whatever the case. I had 6 on my mind. Oh, but for the most part, whatever was in that routine and pattern to build the familiar stimuli beyond y'all biases longer, that shows you on a percentage scale what was there first. So even if you had a job longer than someone, you're more familiar with the job. You know how to do the job better. So if the spirit make a mind and the mind condense and become organs, okay, the spirit make a brain. So if you've been making multiple brains and you finally in the spiritual group that at the stage of making this kind of brain, then you need to know any other spiritual species that made a mind that condensed and became an organ. You need to know they came after you if their lack of comprehension of utilizing their brain and their mind is less sufficient than yours. So you don't have to go do no time travel in history. Life show you every day what something mean and the ground basis is on. You know what I'm saying? You just have to be open enough to look at that. But a lot of times you might be more heavily invested into your distractions, your bills, other things. Do this person like you or not? Do how this person may see you or not? Never jump into the mind state of coming with your own idea of how you think someone else developed their idea about you or whatever. That's a lot of y'all mistakes. And y'all develop a lot of internal frustration, blocking opportunities for yourself that you probably didn't even know was an opportunity. And it could be any type of thing, job, relationship wise and stuff. You walk yourself out of these situations by having these type of mental constructs. You know what I'm saying? There's certain mental constructs that you have that take you in the opposite direction of certain things that you think you want to do, that you're interested in. And a lot of times it becomes on the ground basis of self-doubt now. You start to self-doubt yourself. But the doubt before that came, it was all these other things you was aware of. Then you start to compare and contrast. Did you have those abilities? And then if it was more on a percentage scale of the esoteric seesaw of you not, you develop false sense of realities of doubt. Well, really, it ain't the what. That's going to be fixed. It's the how. And that's what matters. And if you could create your how to suit your way of doing something, you create a spark of inspiration, because you're showing individuals how you can make something much more easier, esoteric technology, or you don't have to react so much to the pressure like someone else. And just being in that space, you develop more creativity. So if you in a space of doubting yourself, you had this creativity, or doubt any form of creativity you end up developing. But if you ain't in that space, that doubting yourself, which that's going to be there, but lessen it up on a percentage scale, lessen fear up on a percentage scale. God going to take you through experiences to show you that, oh, this is how you start to become the most attractive or get the most attention if you want that, or be the most creative in that space, is by being in that limbo people be scared of, and a lot of people be in that space of who did it before them and take out all the qualities of what worked, and try to find every scenario to run away from when it starts to look like things not going to work, and then start to compare and contrast if they're doing something right or wrong on that basis. And it has nothing to do with that. When you're expanding something, anything that you participate in, and you want to be the main star in it, it has everything to do with going that distance that you'll start to realize you're going in a pocket that people were scared to go in, and you may not know that was there, and you could have developed the possibility of being scared to go there in some way, shape, or form, based upon all the comfort zones of people who went halfway, half cup, half full, and created comfort zones there. So it make it seem like, well, I could just do this and it'll be all right. I don't have to create any other kind of way, even to the point that people already in that world will look at me as crazy because they never seen it done that way. You will run away from these qualities, and a lot of those take you to your path when you're looking at it that way. That's how you actually go to your carving, your city and state in that country, in the esoteric world. Or you're going to be trying to live in certain esoteric worlds based upon what you're giving attention to and what you're attracted to, paying esoteric rent, though. Esoteric, aka paying attention to things that lead into you comparing and contrasting why you can't be the main representation of that, or why you won't be the one persevering that energy, or why it ain't possible for you in some way, shape, or form. And you have to get out of that energy. And when you fully get out of that energy, you will start to see things clearly. So anytime it's actually like that, you will actually know, no, it's actually like this. And every situation that play out in reality for real takes course very differently than situations that's manipulated, or narratives that's created, or scenarios that was controlled. It can only mimic. It can never be the actual response and the actual actions take it for the actual situation that played out for real to be that. You know what I'm saying? And then you will start to realize this person or group of people actually trying to stop me because of this actual reason that goes beyond any type of construct that someone else may be going through the similar situation, but in a synthetic way. You know what I'm saying? You will know that a lot of their reasonings to their complaints is something that they wasn't supposed to be involved in the first place. And if they was really spiritual, that wouldn't even been their life. You see what I'm saying? So a person who's mimicking a life could only try to be the thing for capitalizing or rocking to sleep somebody, yet it always fail because it doesn't have the actual experiences that build up to the thing to be that. So it's like seeing something from a distance, but not knowing what it took for that thing to be that thing. It's like seeing somebody's outfit, but not being around them when they was getting dressed, not knowing what each object cost and things of that nature. So you go create an AI version of your song. You create an AI. So you're not talented. And then everybody want to reach, I want to be somebody type of qualities. So you end up trying to create synthetic versions of what you think intelligent, when really it's just how well you can mimic something. And that's not intelligence. So that's why sometimes I don't even like when I see ads talk about, hey, you want to make a song in 5 seconds? You want to make a beat? Do this. You completely miss the steps it take for whatever we doing, and in this case, music, for it to even be what it mean. At that point, it's purely off of purposes that don't got nothing to do with music. It's everything that come with it. Hey, people who make songs get attention. People who make songs get record deals. So if I could make a quick song, maybe everybody could like me. That's higher on a percentage scale. Hey, if I make songs, maybe I could be getting a record deal. That's higher. These are false senses of reality. And you jump high, and when you fall, that fall hurts. Because you be around everybody that you had to manipulate to look better than, or around everybody who actually know how to build that. So you're gonna fall into an area around a bunch of spirits that got ladders, and choose to be down there because they realize that without being down here, we wouldn't be able to have a ladder, and don't like to climb the ladder all the time to be seen because they start to realize that attention ain't always what it means. So for the most part, you want to stay in that space that you can always build a ladder, and then it's at will. Age don't matter at that point. Impression don't matter at that point. And you always got that gold. You always got the ability to have that ladder. And you could climb and be seen at will. And you could go retract at will. So you ain't in no situation where you took a ladder, got to the top, and constantly have to look over your shoulder every time you're in the light because of how you got there, being a goddamn thief. You see what I'm saying? And I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. If you there with me spiritually. Flight boss, me, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of Terry Smooth. I am the Royal Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and responsibilities. In order for that, Raktaswa HAЄL'HO YAHLAHUÉ, Massasoit, Mama Natoe, Masasaki, Woo!